Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge. They don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like. Wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifted. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hey y'all. Hello everyone. It is Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. I am a real lawyer. Not your lawyer, but I am a real lawyer. And today I have carved out some time out of my schedule so that I can tell you about this newest lawsuit that was filed against Cardi B. So what I want you all to do is I want you to come on in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We won't be before you. I won't be before you long. So we won't be long. For real. Like for real. Because I can't, I'm not going to be able to just read a complaint line by line. I'm going to put up articles so you guys know what is going on in this entertainment legal world. But Danielle said, listen, you done worked 2 days straight. Now you about to go on live? No, that's not going to happen. I was like, Danielle, can you just give me a good, cool 35, 40 minutes? Okay. So she agreed. We negotiated. So I'm going to make sure you guys stay updated. And then maybe, I don't know. I'll come back at another time. But yeah, it's been a busy week. Thank you, Lisa Jones. Already giving your girl a super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you all to everyone that has come in. Thank you again for everyone that has been supporting. As you guys seen from the thumbnail, Cardi B. Yep, she's in another lawsuit. I mean, we have a few Cardi B stories if you look in our Law Intellect archives, and she has another one to add under her belt. Now, some people have a mixed review, I think, about this incident. Some of you guys may have heard about it, where I guess allegedly some water was thrown on her, and in response, she threw a microphone or something like that. This is that lawsuit. And whoever this individual is a Jane Doe in this lawsuit. It was filed, I think, on Monday, and there was a correction today to the lawsuit. I don't know what the correction was. That could be anything. It could be wrong name, misspelled name, whatever. I know that was there on the lawsuit when I looked at the docket. But I'm going to pull up the article for y'all so we can go over it. And, if you guys care, you know what I'm saying? If you guys care about it, then maybe later on at another time, we'll go over the actual complaint. But I wanted to go live instead of just, posting it, because usually I'll post stuff like this in my membership. But I just wanted to go live first. So this is the lawsuit was filed against rapper for throwing mic at a fan at the 2023 Las Vegas show. I know I saw the video that was going around, so you guys probably have seen it as well. But this is a lawsuit that has been filed against Cardi B, and I'll tell you what the lawyer, she has the person that filed, again, did it under a pseudonym, and the attorney, I know one of the attorneys is out of Illinois, and so I'll read her statement as well. And it reads, I feel like I'm in church. A woman struck by a microphone at Cardi B concert in Las Vegas has sued the rapper and the strip venue. On Monday, an Ohio woman using the pseudonym Jane Doe filed a lawsuit in the district court against Bella Khalees Almazar. I always mess her name up. Cardi B. Okay. Cardi B's legal name, and Dre's Management Group LLC, which operates the club where the incident took place. The complaint makes 6 claims, including battery. Y'all know what battery is. Assault. You know what assault is. And negligence. The allegations revolve around an incident caught on video during a July 2023 performance at Dre's Beach Club at the Cromwell that showed Cardi B throwing a microphone at a person in the crowd after the fan splashed her drink on the rapper. The mic also hit a fan standing next to the person who threw the drink. A police report was filed at the time, but the Metro Police Department closed the case days later, saying it had insufficient evidence. So basically, it sounds like the police were saying it wasn't even probable cause for them to even, bring any type of charges against Cardi B for assault. They closed out the case. What has been written off as a joke, this is a quote, what has been written off as a joke by many people is actually a traumatic experience that has significantly impacted my well-being and quality of life, end quote. The victim said in a Wednesday statement, quote, I am seeking justice in the hopes of holding Cardi B accountable for her misdeeds, as no celebrity is above the law. The plaintiff is represented by attorney Sierra and Norris of the C. Norris Law Group, Thomas Beckham and Thomas Beckham Law, and Lawrence Hill of Lawrence Hill and Associates. Representatives for Cardi B did not immediately respond to the request or comment Wednesday. Drink splash leads to microphone throwing. In July 2023, Doe traveled from Cleveland, Ohio to Las Vegas for the sole purpose of attending Cardi B's show, according to her lawyers. The lawsuit said that Cardi B appeared on stage under, quote, visibly high temperature conditions, end quote, and repeatedly asked the crowd to splash water on her, both verbally as well as physically motioning. An MC on stage echoed her request, the complaint said. So basically, she said she asked for the water. Okay? She was asking everybody for the water. Cardi B also poured water over her body while on stage, according to the lawsuit. I can't see like somebody asking strangers to just water they've been drinking out of their bottle to just throw their old germy spit and whatever backwash in your water on me. Something like you just got some fresh water, little squirt gun or something like that. Maybe little water balloons. But to tell people that they've been spitting all up in some glasses, I don't know. I don't know. Danny said, I remember she did ask for water to pour on her. That's what they saying. They saying she asked for it. That just sounds nasty to me. But hey, who am I? You said Cardi was wrong. I live in LV. She would have been charged by the police if the victim was not a Black woman. That's from Natasha Razor Glam. She said she is from Nevada, and she said Cardi B should have got the business from the police. Ooh, y'all, some of y'all are not Cardi fans, eh? Okay. Let's see. Cardi B also poured water over her body while on stage, according to the lawsuit. The rapper then, quote, struck a pose, and physically reacted to splashes by slapping her posterior while audience throw liquids made contact with her, the complaint said. The lawsuit said that the plaintiff splashed a, quote, small portion of her drink in Cardi B's direct. That's what I'm saying. That just sounds nasty to me. But hey, that's what you do. That's what they do. So that the lawsuit says the plaintiff splashed a small portion of her drink in Cardi B's direction. Cardi B then suddenly and forcefully threw her microphone at the plaintiff. Just took her mic and was like, I ain't want your water. I wanted the other people's water. As a result, this is all allegedly, y'all. You know, I'm just reading what they said in here, but it's all allegations from a complaint, which is what a complaint is. It's just allegations. It's their version of what happened. I'm sure Cardi B will have her version. As a result, the woman suffered, quote, physical pain, emotional distress, reputational damage, embarrassment, and harassment from both the media and members of the public. The microphone was then auctioned off for $99,000, the complaint said. The lawsuit said that Cardi B also threw a microphone at a DJ on the night before the incident. So they trying to say she has a propensity to throw microphones. That's what it's looking like, allegedly. Dre's, as the operator of the venue, it had a duty to supervise the performance and ensure the safety of his patrons, including plaintiff, the complaint said. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read the complaint because yeah. So anyway, that is the lawsuit that was filed against Cardi B. So somebody said, listen, pay that lady. That's from Diamond B. Kelly said, listen, mics are heavy. I would have sued her too. I hope she wins. That Power Dynamic for Life said they say she got anger issues. Dang, y'all pro her, huh? All right. Harold said it's always something going on in dress in Las Vegas. What else done happened? I'm not familiar. Put me up on game. Oh, y'all is getting, oh, look at these nasty comments in here. My goodness today. Ray, you are funny to me. He said, can Maddie Moss's estate be sued? She was a shoe thrower, not a mic thrower, okay? She might throw that shoe at you if you don't hit that note correctly. I thought I posted this on Instagram. I didn't. So let's see what her attorney has to say. This is for immediate release for the Norris law firm. She said, attorneys for a woman who was struck by a microphone thrown at her by Cardi B during a Las Vegas concert in 2023 will tomorrow announce that they have filed a lawsuit against the performer on behalf of the victim, alleging battery, assault, and negligence, among other things. The lawsuit also names Dre's Management Group, LLC, the owner of the venue where Cardi B's concert was held. The victim is named as a Jane Doe in the complaint because she is currently suffering from mental health issues as a result of the incident and does not want to be identified due to potential backlash. The victim's attorneys will address media tomorrow, July 24th, 2025 at 11 a.m. in front of the Clark County Courthouse. So any of y'all in Vegas, if you would like to see this press conference, there will be a press conference tomorrow at 11 a.m., which is, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard. Yeah, they're going to have a press conference if anybody, anybody? Ray said it's all assault. Who Jesus. Okay, so that's where you go. If you're in Vegas tomorrow and you're not busy, there's going to be a press conference if you would like to be there. According to the complaint, now again, this is the press release. This is the press release I have on my phone that I'm reading. According to the complaint, the victim traveled from Cleveland to Las Vegas on her first ever solo trip for the sole purpose of attending Cardi B's show at Dre's Beach Club in Las Vegas on July 29, 2023. The complaint contends that during her performance, which was held outside in very high temperature conditions, Cardi B asked members of the audience to throw water on her to cool her off. Audience members, including the victim in this case, obliged and tossed water as a performer during the show. Well, the complaint alleges that for an unknown reason, after the victim threw water in her direction, Cardi B became angry, singled the victim out, and violently threw the microphone she was using at the victim, striking her shoulder. The incident, which was captured on cell phone video, went viral and generated millions of views and comments on social media. The story was also widely covered by national and international media. To add insult to injury, after the incident, the microphone that Cardi B threw at the victim was sold at auction for $99,000. The complaint contends that as a result of the incident, the victim suffered emotional distress, reputational damage, embarrassment, and harassment from both media and members of the general public. It kind of looks like maybe this article just kind of mimicked what this press release was, but I hadn't read it. It has see below for a statement provided by the victim. What has been written off as a joke by many people is actually a traumatic experience that has significantly impacted my well-being and quality of life, said Jane Doe. I am seeking justice in the hopes of holding Cardi B accountable for her misdeeds, as no celebrity is above the law. The victim, and then the guy who they represented by. So that was the statement that was given. And y'all got any questions? I don't know what else to say. And I think the attorney looks like she's kind of getting mixed reactions on here, because some people are like, even though I love you, this is a no for me. That woman threw something at her first, and she has every right to defend herself. Hopefully Cardi B does not settle and take this to court, because just because she's a celebrity does not mean you get to do whatever you want. Now, the problem with that is it sounds like Cardi B might have asked for it. So there goes that. So yeah. Deborah said, hi, Pam. This seems to be, she was so friendly. Hi, Deborah. She said, this seems to be the season to sue. Is Tony Busby the attorney? No, it's not Tony Busby. I know I'm getting off topic, but have you heard anything about the French president suing Candace Owens? Is it true? She did actually get, you okay, Books?
Yes.
Okay. She did actually get, okay, wait a minute. Somebody just emailed me. You about to read this here lawsuit, huh? Okay, let's see. Thank you, Shadina. Okay, I guess we can go over the lawsuit, because they don't look like it's that long. Since I'm here. Yes, I did see that. Did you see Tyrone Blackburn and his client were sanctioned by Fat Joe? Were sanctioned? Then I'm thinking about TD Jakes. Hold on. One legal crisis at a time. Okay. Let's pull up this complaint. Hold on. Let me see where it's at. What did I just do with it? That's why my baby said don't be getting on here and forgetting. Because I'm going to get on here and then, okay. Jurisdictional statement. Okay, these are the general allegations. So she's a resident of Ohio. Okay, let me see. First of all, she's suing, of course, Cardi B and the management. And then she has some those individuals 1 through 10 and row business entities 11 through 20. So you guys know the does and the rows and the no's on why they put that on there. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of that because they're just saying all of the people they think are the players. Okay, let's start at 11. No, let me see. Okay, so they're all at the club. Picture this, Vegas, 2023, July. They're all at this Dre's Beach Club and nightclub over there in Vegas on South Vegas Boulevard. The plaintiff, Jane Doe, was in attendance as a guest on an event hosted by Dre's Beach Club, where defendant, professionally known as Cardi B, was the headline performer. Plaintiff, who is a resident of Cleveland, Ohio, was visiting Las Vegas on her first solo trip, having traveled specifically to attend this performance by an artist she admired. During the performance, Cardi B appeared on stage under visibly high temperature conditions and while holding a microphone, verbally requested that the audience splash water on her. Cardi B made repeated gestures and statements encouraging the concert goers to throw water, implicitly authorizing and inviting light splashing from drinks. An unidentified MC, also present on stage, echoed and reinforced Cardi B's request, thereby amplifying the encouragement to engage in this conduct. Cardi B further demonstrated her consent and participation by pouring water from a bottle over her body while on stage. She then turned around, struck a pose, and physically reacted to splashes by slapping her posterior while audience-thrown liquids made contact with her. She audibly responded with apparent approval, stating, "Woo, that blank beep feels good," thereby continuing to solicit crowd participation. Multiple attendees responded in kind, throwing drinks toward the stage, several of which visibly reached Cardi B in the surrounding performance area. Plaintiff, acting in accordance with the environment created by Cardi B's express words and conduct, and in a manner consistent with other attendees, splashed small portions of the drink in Cardi's direction. In apparent anger and without warning, Cardi B suddenly and forcibly threw her microphone directly at plaintiff. Plaintiff observed Cardi B's conduct and experienced immediate apprehension of an imminent harmful contact. That's what assault is, when you have an apprehension of a battery. Battery is the actual contact. The microphone struck plaintiff, resulting in offensive and inconsistent physical contact, causing physical injury. Now that's the battery. Cardi B knew or should have known that the water throwing conduct she invited posed no threat of injury or harm. Cardi B also knew or should have known that the microphone, a dense and blunt object, presented a foreseeable risk of physical injury when thrown. Cardi B's conduct in throwing the microphone was an unjustified and retaliatory act that resulted in harmful and offensive contact with plaintiff. Such conduct constituted an unreasonable escalation and was excessive, disproportionate, and undertaken in a public venue, causing additional reputational and emotional harm to the plaintiff. Dre's, as the operator of the venue, had a duty to supervise the performance and ensure the safety of its patrons, including the plaintiff. Upon information and belief on the night prior to the incident or the early morning hours of the same, Cardi B was involved in substantially similar altercation at the same venue, during which she threw a microphone at a DJ. Dre's knew or should have known at this prior incident that Cardi B posed a foreseeable risk of repeat violence conduct during her performance. Despite such knowledge, Dre's failed to take reasonable or appropriate safety measures to prevent or mitigate such conduct. As a direct and proximate result of the incident, plaintiffs suffer physical pain, emotional distress, reputational damage, embarrassment, and harassment from both media and members of the public. In the days following the incident, the microphone used by Cardi B in the assault was auctioned for approximately $99K by Scott Fisher, owner of The Wave, the company that had provided the microphone. This sale further publicized the incident and exacerbated plaintiff's emotional distress. Plaintiff has incurred and continues to incur actual damages, including physical and emotional injuries and reputational harm, in an amount not less than $15K. So that must be their jurisdictional 15 and up. Must be what their jurisdictional amount is to see if they have jurisdiction over this case. So first cause of action is battery. Plaintiff repeats all of that, what I just read. On July 29, 2023, while attending a public performance at the nightclub in Las Vegas, Cardi B intentionally threw a handled microphone into the crowd. The microphone was a dense blunt object, inflicting harm and struck the Jane Doe, making direct physical contact with the person. Cardi B intended to cause the contact and deliberately aimed the microphone at plaintiff in an act of unjustified and retaliatory aggression. The contact was unconsented, harmful, and offensive. Plaintiff constituted a violation of her bodily anatomy and dignity. Plaintiff Jane Doe did not provoke, consent to, or otherwise invite the conduct and was acting in conformity with the atmosphere and instructions set by the defendant during the performance. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that Doe individuals 1 through 10 and Roe businesses entity 11 through 20 aided, abetted, encouraged, directed, authorized, facilitated, permitted, or negligently failed to prevent the wrongful conduct of the defendant. These Does and Roe defendants may include individuals and entities responsible for event production, management, security. So they're saying there may be other people they want to pull in and blame them too. As a direct and proximate result of the acts of the defendant and the omissions or ratifications by Doe and Roe defendants, plaintiff Jane Doe sustained bodily injuries, emotional distress, humiliation, reputational harm, and economic damages. The conduct of Cardi B was willful, malicious, oppressive, and carried out with conscious disregard for the right and safety of others, justifying the imposition of punitive damages. And she is asking for amount not less than $15,000 plus punitive damages, attorney fees, interest, and all other relief deemed just proper by the court. The second cause of action is assault, and it's against the Joes and the Roes that are unknown. So I'm sure it's pretty much going to say the same thing. Then they have negligence as the other cause of action. They had a duty to exercise reasonable care towards the attendees at her performance, including the plaintiff during the event held at the nightclub on July 29, 2023. The fourth cause of Fourth cause of action is negligent hiring, retention, and supervision of the performers. That's against, of course, they're going to say Dre's Management Group, LLC, the Does and the Roes. I said you should know who you hired. The fifth cause of action is premise liability and negligent event management. The sixth cause of action is negligent security, and that's against defendant Dre's Management, Doe's individuals 1 through 10, and Roe's businesses 1 through 10. And that's all. That's all, folks. Pretty much what we read is the same thing that's in this complaint. Paula Key said it's a shakedown, but Cardi B knows as a celebrity she's a target. She needs to do better. Paula Key says she couldn't go to work. Mental health, just pay her $30K, be done with it. She has to, they said she had injury. She got hit in her shoulder. So you have to see what her damages are. Like, what are your damages? Because again, Cardi B can be all the way wrong. And you guys know this. You have various elements you have to prove. And if you can prove all the elements and they say, yeah, she did assault her and she asked for that water, but what are your damages? So all they said was her shoulder got hit. You don't hear nothing about rotator cuff surgery. You don't hear nothing about, so you have to see like what her damages are, like actual damages. But they're trying to get punitive damages, which would be over and beyond. That's what the court took away from in that case with T.I. and the OMG girls, and they took that money away from them. That was the punitive damage part where they said that it's a deterrent mechanism. It's not really based on how much they lost, but deter you from ever doing something like that again. And that's why the judge took it away and felt like it was excessive in that arena. So courts, get a little iffy on the punitive. But so that's that. Y'all got any questions? Peachy Bama says she ain't have no business throwing anything at nobody. Okay. You said, I wonder how long ago this was and how she's treated for injuries in the time frame. It was July 2023. It was a year ago. The woman he chose said, did Cardi say anything about the incident when it happened? I hope she settles and pay this alleged victim. I don't really know the lawyers on there except the one that is out of Illinois, because she does criminal defense and she posts a lot of her videos and stuff on TikTok. Thank you so much, Kia Elder. She said, hello, Pam. It's always a pleasure listening to your knowledgeable insight of the law, as well as your entertaining commentary. Diamond said my whole shoulder would have been dislocated by the time I made it to the hospital. Not you would have been looking like it's a thin line between love and hate. You would have been putting the apples and put the apples in there and you were gonna take the refrigerator and start slamming it on your shoulder before you went to the hospital. You know what? Call Me Darling said, remembering during the time these so-called fans were throwing things at the celebrity, it was happening often. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I don't understand, like, what would have been different about her to be like, I'm about to throw this mic at you. Queen Sandina said, I have my arm in a sling for 2 years. Ooh. Yeah, make sure you hit the like button. Okay, so somebody said something about Fat Joe and Tyrone Blackburn and sanctions, right? Okay. Let me see if I could find that. I hope I got so many cases. This is crazy. Is it Fat Joe? Which one is it? Because remember, Fat Joe, is it the one that Blackburn filed against Fat Joe? Or is it the one that Fat Joe filed against Blackburn? Because there were two different ones. Let me look it up right quick. And then I'm going to get off of here for real in real life. It's just that little lawsuit was so quick. Was it? I think it was in Southern District of New York. Let me see. New York. Let's see. Hold on one moment. We have a legal emergency right here. So I'm commentating as I go for this live. Very unorganized, I understand. But one of you all asked a question and I'm trying to see if I have the answer to it, because I don't have the answer. But I'll get it. What is that man's real last name? Isn't it Carter? Joseph. Let's see. So he's the defendant, right? Is this the... Nope, that ain't it. Okay, here it. I think this is it. July 22nd. Let's see what's happening here. Notice petition for issuance of rent mandamus of petition. Wait a minute. What is happening here? Hold on. Let me go back. Whoosh, you guys are working me today. I was just going to come on and talk about. No, this is a whole different case against some. My God, today. What case is this? I might have stumbled upon something. Hold on a second. Is this motion for extension of time? Notice of appearance. What type of case is this? This been going on since 2019. This against Roc Nation and everybody. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I'm gonna have to look at that on another time. Okay, I'm trying to find. Pam, you need to find this doggone case. Okay. Okay, I gotta try to find this case. Where's the did I even download the Fat Joe case? I know Tracy probably sent it to me, but I probably didn't even download it. Okay. Tracy did send for somebody asked about Candace Owens. Okay. Candace Owens did get sued. All right. It's a 219-page complaint. Let me pull that up for y'all. For your I don't skip because you guys talked about two different people. Okay, this is Candace Owens for those that was asking about Candace Owens. Emmanuel Macron has sued her in Delaware. Let me see how, oh Lord have mercy. Okay, we're just going to read the intro so we can know what it's about. But yes, this looks like a for real lawsuit for the person that asked. All right, thank you, Queen Shadina. Thank you so much. Because I showed, your girl can't find it right now. I'm so unprepared. I'm so sorry, y'all. So sorry. So what is being alleged with the Candace Owens? So this is our first legal crisis. Candace Owens. In March 2024, Candace Owens, a right-wing podcaster, told the world she, quote, would stake her entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, is in fact a man, end quote. Since then, Owens has used this false statement to promote her independent platform, gain notoriety, and make money. Owens disregarded all credible evidence, disproving her claim in favor of performing known conspiracy theorists and proven defamers. And rather than engage with President and Mrs. Macron attempts to set the record straight, Owens mocked them and used them as additional fodder for her frenzied fan base. Basically, they said your crazy fan base. Owens did not stop there, retaliating against the Macrons for the audacity of sending her a retraction demand. Owens helmed an 8-part podcast series titled Becoming. That is Candace must be stopped. Jeez. This is all allegedly, though. And accompanying X posts throughout the series, Owens and her entities, Candace Owens LLC and George Time Inc., endorsed, repeated, and published a series of verifiably false and devastating lies about them on which this complaint is based. These outlandish, defamatory, and far-fetched fictions include that Mrs. Macron was born a man, stole another person's identity, and transitioned to become... Oh my gosh. What? I kind of remember that now they're saying that, like that she was showing videos and stuff. And because is that the lady that allegedly like slapped them or something? Like they were on a plane. and she slapped, allegedly, y'all. I don't want y'all coming for me. I'm just trying to figure out who these people are, what they look like. I know who they are, but you know what they look like and the things that's been going on with Candace. These outlandish, defamatory, and far-fetched fictions included, of course, she was born a man, stole another person's identity, and transitioned to become who she is. Mrs. Macron, President Macron, our blood relatives committing incest. What? President Macron was chosen to be the president of France as part of the CIA operated MK Ultra program or a similar mind control program. And Mrs. Macron and President Macron are committing forgery, fraud, and abuses of power to conceal these secrets. These claims are demonstrably false, and Owens knew they were false when she published them. Yet she published them anyway. And the reason is clear. It is not the pursuit of truth, but the pursuit of fame. After being fired from the Daily Wire, Owens used these demonstrably false claims to promote her independent podcast, Candace. Owens' fan base has grown to 6.9 million followers on X and 4.47 million subscribers on YouTube. The most popular podcasts in the world have discussed her investigation into the Macron's history. She launched a revamped website, CandaceOwens.com, fueled by her desire to make these specific false claims about him without adhering to content moderation policies. This is nothing new for Owens. She has built a brand on provocation, not truth. Owens labels herself as an independent investigative journalist while routinely peddling misinformation under the guise of legitimate reporting. She has promoted a range of conspiracy theories, including anti-vaccine falsehoods, long debunked anti-Semitic tropes such as blood libel and Holocaust distortion, going so far as to I gotta watch some things coming out of my mouth right now. Hold on. YouTube might flag me. Let me read it first. Okay. Her content is not intended to inform, but to inflame and attract attention through sensationalism and conspiracy theories. Owens published the series and related posts with reckless disregard for the truth. Owens was repeatedly presented with credible, verifiable evidence disproving her claims, including documentation, public records, and direct outreach from them. Instead of correcting the record, she doubled down. At the time, Mrs. Macron had won French defamation claims against others who pushed these same baseless theories, underscoring both their falsity and defamatory sting. Owens knew this. Yet Owens, fully aware of the truth, has not only declined to retract her statement, but has actively expanded on them. These lies have caused tremendous damage to them. Defendants have subjected the Macrons to a campaign of global humiliation, turning their lives into fodder for profit-driven lies. Owens has dissected their appearances, their marriage, their friends, their family, and their personal history, twisting it all into a grotesque narrative designed to inflame and degrade. The result is relentless bullying on a worldwide scale. Every time the Macrons leave their home, they do so knowing that countless people have heard, and many believe, these vile fabrications. It is invasive, dehumanizing, and deeply unjust. Faced with the relentless and unjustified smear campaign, the Macrons are left with no choice but to seek relief through this court to set the record straight, prevent further harm, and hold defendants accountable for their conduct. Well, this was wilder than the Cardi lawsuit. My goodness. Well, okay. So there's that. She said the wife is trans and the president's father. Peachy Brown she said, I mean, a lot of the trans don't consider themselves, quote, men, even if they started that way. I don't know. I'll wait for the receipt. So this is why they're suing. Because they like, some people probably do believe this. Okay. So that was them that was like, the video was like showing, looking, he was like and straightened up and was walking down the stairs. Okay, so that's that legal crisis. All right. So let me see. Fat Joe. Fat Joe. Let me go to his case number real quick. 25. And then I promise y'all we about to get off here in real life. Let me see. 25 dash. Okay, let's see what was filed in this here case. What is this letter? So I know, so they filed a motion to dismiss, they being Fat Joe. There's a memo, a motion to strike. First motion to strike, document filed, affidavit. Okay. And a motion for sanctions. So I see a motion for sanctions, but I don't see. This was just filed on July 22nd. So it wasn't a sanction. I thought you said they were sanctioned. That's a difference. They're just requesting sanctions. And they already, of course, they have their, so yeah, they're just requesting sanctions. So no, I don't see where he was actually sanctioned. Now he does have to go to Pennsylvania tomorrow and deal with some order to show cause why he shouldn't be held in contempt because of some issues with the TD Jakes case. If you don't know about that, go to the previous video. Thank you for always forever. I appreciate that. Did you see that Amir dropped the lawsuit against Jay-Z? Did he? No, I ain't see what happens when you just be working. I'm just behind on the whole. I'm glad you guys are keeping up with the whole, legal thing, even though, because I sure ain't. So let's read the preliminary statement on this motion right here. Some of this stuff, if you guys want to actually go through it, then you just let me know. Okay. But I'm not going to just go through stuff you guys aren't interested in like that. So the preliminary statement, the complaint in this case accuses Roc Nation, one of the most significant entertainment companies in the world, of being complicit in human trafficking, forced labor, abuse, money laundering, all manner of racketeering, all serious allegations. But the basis for these claims is anything but serious. Instead, and in plaintiff's counsel's own words, it is evident from the evidence that your client may have been defrauded by Fat Joe as well. Roc Nation has described the baselessness of plaintiff's claim in its pending motion to dismiss briefing and will not belabor these points here, but the fact that plaintiff's counsel confirmed that core premise warrants special consideration. His startling concession, made just days after he signed the complaint accusing Roc Nation of shocking and reprehensible crimes, lays bare that this case against Roc Nation is all about character assassination, media attention, and the cynical pursuit of deep-pocketed defendant. The ugly history of this dispute reflects plaintiff and counsel's increasingly desperate attempts to coerce a settlement from plaintiff's one-time stage partner and current enemy, Joseph Fat Joe. In the years leading up to his lawsuit against plaintiff and plaintiff's retaliatory suit, see, that's what I read, the Fat Joe lawsuit. I know I had this one, but I don't think I really read it once I seen, y'all picking up what I'm putting down. But once I seen what it was kind of about, I was like, I'm not about that. Anyway, plaintiff waged and sustained a social media campaign against him and repeatedly threatened the lawsuit against Fat Joe, paid him off. Roc Nation had nothing to do with that. Plaintiff was a hype man for him. He was paid by Fat Joe. He worked closely with Fat Joe. When that relationship ended, he spent 2 years making a disparaging social media post about Fat Joe. So it's all of this. Okay. So yeah, they want sanctions. All right. That's like 30 pages. We definitely ain't doing that. This is Alex Spiro. So must be Roc Nation's because they got sued as well. But yeah, this is Roc Nation's motion for sanctions. But the Tacopino is representing Fat Joe, and he's basically said a lot of the similar stuff that I'm sure is in here, and he'll probably be going for sanctions too. But he said he's going after Blackburn's license. That's what he said in an interview. He said, listen, I think he's disgusting because remember, Blackburn, apparently I think they don't have anything going on in the criminal case till October. He is accused of trying to run over the 60-year-old process server when they were trying to serve him his lawsuit, and he got charged for assault. And so Tacopino said he's disgusting. Basically, he uses, if anybody wasn't a lawyer, what he does is extortion. This is Tacopino. That's what he said. He said, if anybody else were to do this, it would be extortion. But because you're a lawyer, it's considered basically writing a demand or, just requesting to negotiate and come to a resolution before you file. So he said he uses the legal system for extortion purposes, and he's just going after the throat when it comes to him. That's what he said. Okay. You said he's refiling it. I don't know why you talking about on that Ramir. Well, he's pro se on that too. Yes, a bar complaint needs to. He has bar complaints because he had the judges. I know in federal court, and then Tacopino also mentioned like allegedly some clients have talked to him, I guess, about Blackburn, and he talked about some letter that he thought was just the most disgusting letter that Blackburn allegedly had, gave to one of his clients. So we'll see, y'all. So anyway, that's any other pressing legal matter that we need to touch on. So basically, Blackburn is going to respond to it, of course, and then there'll be an order after that. But right now, they just filed a motion for sanction. That's it. So this is kind of, I can't generalize this. The question was, how many bar complaints does it take to lose your license? There are some people got hundreds of them, but it depends on what it's for. There's levels to everything. And some people complain, some clients complain and contact the bar, and it's not warranted. Some people really do play with folks' bar license and livelihood. They do. Like, remember how, like when we went over the whole case with Braxton, the one that went on the rant on Instagram about Tyler Perry and his assistant and all of that. He was posting about Gloria Allred, and he was going in on her just based on her saying she didn't want to take his case. So you just get some people, we've all had them, and usually the bar send you a letter and say so-and-so filed a complaint. Of course, we got to open a file. We have to look at it. And then a lot of times you don't even have to do anything if it's something like that, and they'll end up doing something brief and then they'll close it. But there's some where you can consent to what it is. Like, yeah, I missed the deadline, I blew a case. And then they'll like sanction you where your name gets listed. So it's like they do a public, almost humiliation type thing. So you're in the list of people that were reprimanded or disciplined. So that gets printed like every month. And but yeah, it just depends on what it is. They don't just snatch your bar card for like, or your bar license off of, a couple of complaints or people not. Because see, the thing with Blackburn, he's going to keep standing on the fact that he represents people going against all these big entities, and that people just don't like him because of who he's going against. And when you have a hearing if it goes that far, you have a hearing to protect your license as well as to save your license. And there's attorneys that specifically are hired for that purpose. That's what they do, is they go to the grievance committee on your behalf. So with Blackburn, I know from the federal aspect, I guess there were 2 judges who, I guess, reported them to the grievance for the federal section of the Southern District of New York based on him filing complaints. But it was like filing complaints knowing that they don't have jurisdiction over the person, but you're filing it in the Southern District to get attention and traction. That was partly what the allegation was, that he does it for publicity purposes. So there were literally two different judges that came to that conclusion, I guess. And so it was filed. And I don't know if he went before them, never, don't know what happened. But you'll see in this motion for sanctions, everyone uses those judges' opinions about him and them saying, about his license. And Tacopino basically said, I don't think he should be practicing. Like everybody shouldn't be able to get a law license. Like he was going in. So he is not a Blackburn fan, to say the least. But anyway, allegedly Peachy Bama, that's what they say. It's a whole article on that as well. So he tried to hit some. There's a whole article on that as well. Clayton Howard said he was emailing Tenny Garagos about Tyrone Blackburn on June 20th. They're going to come after him when they are done with Diddy's sentencing. Clayton snitched on Blackburn. Yeah, Clayton mentioned that. What did Clayton say? The demand, was it the demand? Yeah. So with the Clayton, that's the worker. He made an allegation because remember he filed a lawsuit against Diddy and Cassie. And he basically was saying that when he was telling his story that he hired Blackburn, I guess Blackburn allegedly was telling him not to talk to them or not to file the case against Cassie before to lose her credibility. Like the government was telling him, hey, don't even file this lawsuit. Wait till Cassie takes the stand because it might mess with her credibility. So he did allege that. And I think he had done a couple of demand letters. Like he just kept giving demand letters thinking he was going to get, some money, and that didn't happen. But part of the issue too is, so Clayton just feels like he was almost working with the government is what he's basically alleging. So that's that. Yes, I went over it a little bit. You have to rewind it back. I did talk about the top part of Candace Owens. It's 200 and some pages. So for me to really get into Candace Owens like that, I will have to go through it and pick and choose but you guys get the gist. Apparently she was on there smearing the president and his wife and saying she was a man. What Candace Owens got to say once she got served? I wonder what she had to say about that. I don't know. Y'all make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so people know. Welcome to everybody on the replay because I'm sure that's probably where most of it's going to come from. And I'm about to get off of here. So I think I have answered all of the pressing legal questions in this brevity. Clayton said Brian Steele subpoenaed his book and Blackburn lied saying it was attorney-client privilege. The judge denied, and I remember that being filed. I didn't know what it was, but I remember them subpoenaing someone. So it was him, not his name. It's kind of clicking because there was so many documents in that case. So Blackburn did a motion to quash. And remember I said he was representing one of the workers. And I don't know if I knew his name, though, or if they put his name out there on the docket. But nevertheless, Blackburn filed a motion to quash saying something was attorney-client privilege. And apparently the book, as you say. And the judge denied it and said, you got to turn it over. So, and I mean, he didn't testify anyway, so. All right, y'all. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed the live. Gotta go.